Alright, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano paZim News update apo patinoda kupa mafirst hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri mutsva usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare. So panapa ndiri kuenda katibatanidze pane maupdates mairi ndichakusiyai muri kunzwa zvinhu zviri kutaurwa kubepa nhau reThe Standard pari kunzi ZANU-PF iri kuronga kubhana mapolitical parties. Tiri kuona kuti ZANU-PF sezvo tinogara takataura panapa kutoti iri kuenda kumono mutapa kudynasty kukingdom ndokuri kuendwa nebato reZANU-PF. So iri kuzama nepainogona napo kuti inge ichigura zvinhu zvese kusvika yasvika paextend yeri kuda yekingdom. So tiri kuona panapa mhuri yeZimbabwe nawo huru yatauya nayo pano. Toziva vaFulton Mangwanya vaiva vari CIO boss vaipomerwa mhosva dzakati wandei pavanga vari current CIO boss because ndofunga wane 3 months here wabviswa with immediately effect napresident eMarson Mnangagwa because vakaonekwa kunzi ku-CIO kwa hakusina kumira zvakanaka, kuri kusheka cheche. Sezvo zvatinoona kuti kumilitary neCIO ndo zvinhu zvakatembwa nebato reZANU-PF. So tiri kuona vakabva vabvisa vaFulton Mangwanya with immediately effect. vaFulton Mangwanya wabviswa kudaro, so vakatanga kuteerwa nemhosva dzakati wandei. Vakanzi vakatidzira munhu pfuti wachiri current CIO boss, vakaridzira dzimwe mhuri pfuti. So tiri kuona vakaenda kunotorwa nemapurisa, vakambozvisarenda kwega kumapurisa vakaita sei. So tiri kuzwa kuti pari zvino vatiza munyika zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka mhuri yeZimbabwe. Apa tiri kuona futi opa muchinguri akatarisana nawo nemakotsi akatarisana nawo mari yakatadza kubhadhira kukombanzeta vanhu vakaurayiwa. Chinova chiriyo chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti vaMnangagwa havasi kudzoka kumashure nepamusaka pekutoti sort of like tiri kuona maarmy generals kana varitaiswa vakutoendeswa kure kuCanada, enda kuRussia, Mozambique, enda kwakati kuratidza kuti vange vachisa manew blood wekutoti vanenge vachiwateerera vari munyika yeZimbabwe. Tiri kuona kuti vese vakaassassinatwa, vese vari kuendeswa kure mhuri yeZimbabwe zvekutoti vanhu vari aligned naVP Chiwenga anenge ari ma1. So ndo nhau dzataya takakubatirai pano. Tira kuti tinzwe nhaurwa huru iri kutaurwa pano iri kunzi ZANU-PF plots to ban parties. Apo patiri kuona kune mamilitary yanga yatangawo political party yayo yainzi chii ndotongana zita rayo mhani, iri kunzi yakatobhanwa, vakatanga kutotsvagwa vanhu vacho vakatanga kutodini. Zvinhu chinova chiri cho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka. So tiri kuona sungano yevanhu iri kuramba ichienderera mberi. Ndotingasangana nemunyuzi dzinotevera ngatiwanzwa.
But that's what I was saying, Kri. And these things have been said for a long time. I remember when we used to talk about the coming of a change. And we were discussing, this is 2 years ago, talking about unconstitutional, constitutional term extensions. Again, nobody was paying attention, looking at the trend in Africa to those who partner with China. And they were not interested either. So when CAP 3 comes, you now understand that this is going to pass. It's going to pass because most of the countries that attempt to do this succeed. You start to tell them, the countries that didn't succeed, what happened? You must mount a resistance in your own country, consolidate all your shit. They don't want that. They go into spectrums of fantasy. They go into all manner of, the fantasy of always wanting to recreate failed system. When a political system fails, they think of MDC, right? You've seen them do that. They want to recreate something. When CAP 3 comes and our freedom of expression, of organizing or whatever, they now want to create a 2017. They want a coup, which is not a coup. When they cannot find a person who can do it for them, they start to solicit ZANU to do it. You saw them attempt to forcefully collude with the opposition, the deviants in opposition. We all saw it happening here. 1 minute they are now Maduku fans, next minute they are trialing Komichi, next minute they are shape-shifting.
Now they're CIO fans now.
Yes, because at that point they thought they would displace Chamisa and then recreate the MDC Yekudara, which is this alliance thing, because it did do something in 2018, right? That fails. Now they abandon that ship. Geza is in the mix. Now they speculate again. they attach him to certain things. The war vets, because they are reimagining again Hondo Yaminda. So this is the problem with our people. They only work with things they are familiar with. You can't introduce something new to work with what is current. But when they choose, we are going into the BRICS. What is it? What do you call it?
BRICS.
System, financial system.
BRICS, yeah.
What is it called? BRICS club. How are you going to go into a new system if you are not going to create a new system?
BRICS is already dead.
But they can entertain that when it's fancy and romantic. You don't look at the powers of the thing that you are wanting to get into to say what would they want as compliant nations to it. They've got China as the partner there. They actually know the leader of China, how that system works. Is it bizarre that the first secretary of the party never leaves? Is it uncommon?
No, it's not uncommon.
It is not uncommon. Communist parties never change a leader unless you dispose of one. That's how they retain power. It's not democratic. It can't have a succession plan in its party. So when you see him do CAP 2, you don't read. They're not random. The CAP 1, CAP 2, CAP 3, they are not random.
But it's also due to the socioeconomic condition, right?
Yes. But they'll go now when all things fail. They regress now to a yesteryear that they cannot name.
Yeah, you're on point. Now there's a talk of CAP 4. Isn't it the right time as a reminder? What you are giving us is a reminder to have a thought process to understand what is this CAP 4? What does it entail?
It has to, Signoro, because you are looking at CAP 3. You can see that once you put it into the constitution, it conflicts other things. You named it. You said they must align it.
So
when
Marcy,
we were telling you that CAP 3 is destroying the basic structure doctrine, the constitution will read incoherently. So how do you make it read coherently with these new things inserted into it? Because the constitution is not read section in isolation. It's a congruent document. If you insert something that had not been written compatibly, you're going to have to keep adding things. That's why we were telling you that it is destroying the basic structure doctrine.
It is.
If I come and remove you, as you know, I must add the things that must define what you are becoming. That's why you see people ndikachekesa. I either have to add mazamu or remove mazamu if I've added something to it. So why won't there be added amendments? Until you saw CAP 1 was followed by CAP 2.
There has to be a CAP 4,
yes,
CAP 5,
because you have to align. So as we see analysis, it's complex. It's just basic stuff.
It's moving towards that authoritarian bullshit.
Yeah, it's very clear. So that's my primary question is, what's the end game? Which summates what you are saying. What is the end game?
Hegemonic authority. Unoitama steps. It's moving from a competitive authoritarian. That's why it's killing credible political parties and creating compliant fake ones. Zana Chabang. So we will stay for some time, Tine. This new one, it's not yet.
But
it's
Chabang
moving
is dead.
into a hegemonic
is
authoritarian. Dead now. So they'll play to my elections to irregular with compliant. They'll create new political parties that are congruent with them. That's why they're asking Belarus. They will still have a parliament, but the parliament will now be based on a simulation of democracy with already parties that are aligned. That's why you see them taking opposition to the school of ideology. So they must be aligned internally, and they must be aligned to their partners externally. So they'll stay now and move into a hegemonic authoritarian, building into a complete totalitarian, but it takes years. The only difference that Zimbabwe did, normally to get to this stage, Emerson Mnangagwa would have been chipping it cap 1, maybe cap 2, cap 3. But because we were compliant community when he tested us with cap 1, that one it's easy to go through because it's the judiciary. It's dealing with one person, Chief Justice, just term extension is testing you. Then when he comes and deals with something you added for security, he wants to see whether you react. He puts in the one that removes the what? It removes the running mate clause. We didn't react at all. We thought it's Chiwenga who has to react. He can't react because he belongs to a party that has agreed. He is the one who was in China.
He's complicit.
He's complicit.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one who was in China. So he aligns with China. Why would he dispute the system of China?
It confuses.
But
so
you
I'm confused.
thought he must react to it. Why would he?
It confuses me that
yes, they leave you to think he must be shaken.
Yeah,
because you thought that was for him. That wasn't for him even when it was inserted in 2013. It's ZANU that never wanted that.
So, Masi, I'm adamant that this is not a ZANU PF thing. It's a construct by a few individuals.
Oh God!
It's my claim that when you look at the structures now, the real ZANU PF echelon is gone. What's your take? How can you help me to understand? Maybe I'm thinking
it's not its membership, it's its system. Kuti kuri kuchinja vanhu is not changing ZANU. People can come in and out. It doesn't matter. ZANU remains strong. ZANU is a system. It's not people. China kills members of its party as it's seen it changing party. Don't be fixated with individuals. Mm-hmm. It's a system. A system can replace humans. It can recruit new ones that can align. Zimbabwean people are continuously aligned. No one is odd ZANU. ZANU can create itself using new people. When you see new people coming in, they are ZANU. No one owns ZANU. It's a system. Sitole left, ZANU remained. Nari people were killed, ZANU was remaining.
So, Marcy,
Zoom came out, ZANU remained.
Marcy,
how many godfathers of ZANU have left ZANU? Did ZANU crumble?
Hold on, Marcy.
So you see new people and suddenly you think I see ZANU. It is new ZANU.
Hold on, Marcy. So you do agree that we as the citizenry, we need to create a system?
Systems fight systems.
So we need to create a system.
Yes, you cannot fight a system. Usina ku create a system. That is why even when China wants to fight America, it creates a system that is compatible with the system or over than the system. America is a military complex.
We need more than
China creates one. It controls financial systems. What does China do?
And this is where I was coming to, Marcy. Remember when you guys argued with me one time, right?
I think your party is stuck with its members.
Marcy,
my godfathers is ZANU Aba that you keep mentioning now.
Hold on, Marcy. So we remember one time when I tried to bring up a point where we need to create a system, not just an organization, right? We need to create a system that can fight a system.
No, organizations create systems. You can't avoid being organized.
I mean, that's part of it. But but that's part of it. But what we need is a system that fights the system.
Yes. So
I totally agree with you. I also have been calling for that. So you can't fight a system without a system.
But you don't seem to recognize ZANU as a system. So you can't construct a system to compete with something you don't recognize as a system. You keep creating it as a group or as people. So you keep
but the summary statement, you need a system to fight a system. That's what Chris is asking. That one must be very clear. Without a system, you can't defeat a system.
So what is a system?
But don't just agree, Signor.
Signor.
I'm not just agreeing with you. You have known me today. I've always go on my page and check. I've always said two things. You can't eat from the same system that you are fighting. Lead with the right hand and fight with the left. I've always said eloquently that you need a system to fight a system. So I'm not really following your tale.
Imibono, I just want to bring Imibono for a second. Imibono, go ahead. You have your hand up. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, great. A number of valid points have been said. But I just wanted to bring you back to the point that Masi was making. Most of us have seen magicians, right? And basically, all magicians use one trick, which is called a sleight of hand. Basically, you are doing something with one hand, and the other hand is doing something. This first hand is where your attention is drawn. Hence, the trick happens on the second hand, and you won't see what the second hand actually did. And that's what basically the ruining party is doing to us. They've got the first hand up in front of us, they're doing something, and the second hand that is at the back, we're not looking at it, and we are all saying, wow, this guy is great, we're all captivated because we are all looking at one hand, not focusing on the second hand. Secondly, most of us watch TV, we watch movies, but we fail to simply get one concept. It's just one concept. Follow the money. Follow the money. You want to catch any criminal in this world, follow the money. All those detective stuff that we watch, those movies, as long as there's a policeman, the way that the thief is caught, they follow the money. But we don't want. Tina, it's as if we want to create our own way of doing things when there's already an established way of doing things. Last analogy. Right. If you want to go to Bulawayo and you are in Gweru, we all know there's one way to go to Bulawayo. But Tina, what we want to do is, all right, I'm in Gweru, I want to go to Bulawayo. You first go to Kwekwe, then you go to Katoma. Then somehow you find yourself, oh no, let me take this train, let me go to Sanyati. You find yourself, all right, I see Karipa. Then we find ourselves in Karipa, but yet we want to go to Bulawayo. That is the major problem with our country. There are ways of removing authoritarian regimes. It's written, the world over, everyone knows. But instead of going to Bulawayo, we are now going to Kwekwe, Gokwe, and we find ourselves in Karipa. And now we are wondering, how did we get to Karipa? When we could have just stopped there and read Bulawayo, 163 kilometers. And we used the signpost to go to what? To Bulawayo.
Mm-hmm.
But we think somehow if I go to Kwekwe, there is another road that will take me to Bulawayo.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is the problem. Those three things, those three examples, illustrations that I just used, they define our current problems in Zimbabwe.
But I'm going to ask you a question though. Can you make it explicit, not metaphoric?
All right. There are ways of removing a regime. It's been done before. It's written down, but we are not following the same principles. We are trying to define our own ways of removing an authoritarian regime. And yet it's been written down. Other countries have done it before us. But we now want to come up with our own funny ways of doing the same thing that other people have tried to achieve. Why can't we just go back to history, read history, copy history, implement?
But okay, when you say Tina, you mean we, right? Which
Zimbabwe, as in,
but
obviously,
which includes you.
exactly.
Does
Obviously,
it, does it
I'm an
suggest we have to go
advocate.
to Does it suggest that we have to go home and do it from home?
Did they go home, all of them, Senor?
No, it's a question. I'm not saying we should go home. I'm asking the author here.
He said
Senor,
read history. Did they go
Why are you
home?
interrupting him? There's no need.
hold on,
Just
Mas.
a follow-up.
You
I'm
interrupted
adding
him
value
though,
to the question
Signoro.
that...
Signoro,
Senor,
you interrupted him.
when
No, I did exactly what you did to ask him a question. So a further question to that. My
Mugabe and
leadership.
Nkomo and all those guys removed the Rhodesian front, what happened?
Now you're talking, Imibono. You're talking now.
Senor, where have you gone?
I'm listening
The
and I'm
playbook is
learning.
there. The playbook is there. We just need to implement the playbook. We need to learn from history. The majority of us, we call ourselves scholars, but we don't want to learn from history. Religion front, we've got a blueprint on how they were removed. Other authoritarian regimes in this world, in South America, there are playbooks in which they were removed. But you know, we don't want. That's why I was giving the illustration of when you're going to Blawai, you're in Kweru. Somehow you find yourself coming to Kwekwe, you're going to Gokwe, and you find yourself in Sanyati, all those other areas, but yet you want to go to Blawai. The playbook is there. Read the playbook. It gives you all the steps and implement the playbook. There is no new thing under the sun. Even the Bible that most of the Zimbabweans read says it. There is no new thing. But you know, we want to come and up with new things. We think we are critical thinkers. We try and reinvent the wheel. But yet, there are ways that have been defined. There are easy ways of doing this. I don't understand our country.
But you're insinuating. You're not really